Well, Tier 1 has probably one of the better conferences from a standpoint of the people that I like to mingle with. And, one of the great things about all conferences, though, is the trading business cards and getting to meet, for me, being 1 year into the industry, it's a great time to meet people and share war stories and figure out how they got out of certain things and, advise me. So, and then their speakers are always pretty good. So they're pretty on top of their topics and what's hot in the industry and the hosting business. I wish I could have spent more time in listening to the speakers, but when it starts rolling, you end up just having all these side meetings, and you get hold of people that would take you a month to get hold of, and you can do it in 2 days. So it's been very, very productive in that sense. Well, I guess I would say it was a relief to hear several speeches, the Microsoft one, the opening one, the one about data centers, because they're all things that we're doing. And in fact, it looked like some of our charts that we use in our company presentations, they've swiped them and used them in theirs. But that's just reaffirming that what we're working on is the right thing. So it was great to see that.
I think for selfish reasons, the themes that were discussed today as it relates to some of the activities that are going on in the capital markets type of arena, the merger and acquisitions, the equity raises, and the access to capital are really important trends, because a lot of these entrepreneurs are finding that growth is there. Outsourcing is truly a phenomenon that is here to stay, and they need to grow and they need to build, and there's availability in the capital markets to help them do that. So that's a theme that I think a lot of people are taking away, saying, lots of fear around the credit markets and the availability of capital. But for companies, and most of the companies that are here, the same size, they're available to them.
So the keynote was really good. It talked about how the hosters have to move from the core businesses, which they have become good at, but are becoming commoditized more and more, and they're not making as much margin as they should be. And moving to services, especially where he was talking about on-demand, true on-demand, I think is the way to go, where automation is going to drive to better margins, faster sign-up time for customers will drive better adoption, especially as more and more customers from the SMB space get on.
Right.
The SMB space is all about instant gratification. They're not about the guys who are going to go through legal contracts and do long thought-out evaluations. They want their stuff working now, because they don't have the time, they don't have the staff. So I think it's right on with that.
It's usually a precursor for what we experience in Canada, and it's specifically in the area of densities, the greening of data centers, new technology that allows us to get more density from a processing perspective, and what other organizations are doing. So I'm interested in talking to vendors. I'm also interested in talking to other organizations that are in the hosting business to see what they're doing. I've been intrigued by the amount of equity coming back into the market. I was pleasantly surprised, and the virtualization sessions have been very good.
I thought Dan's keynote was right on point. It's actually pretty interesting, having been in this business for the better part of the last decade. I mean, it really almost feels in many ways it's like deja vu to 2001. I mean, we were talking about reliability and uptime and all these critical things, back in 2000, 2001, and with the crash and the resurgence and some of the revival of the internet, all these key topics are back in play. But now we have some additional stuff. There's greater mainstream adoption as well, especially in the enterprise. So, I think Dan's right back on point with a lot of his comments. I really did appreciate where he was coming from in terms of not only what needs to be done, but how to do it, and some great recommendations for the web hosting providers themselves.
We were just talking, actually, the one that looked most interesting to me is actually the last one tomorrow. It's the one on the marketing. Just because I think that's, I'm in product management, so that's one of the areas where we focus on closely, versus some of the data center operations and things like that wouldn't be so much my responsibility.
This is a unique event that really has the right people from the industry. It's a lot of C-level executives that come to this event, from the data center industry, from the hosting industry, and so it's for me as a manufacturer, it's an excellent way to make contacts. So far it's great. I think the sessions are good. One of the things that I really think is valuable is the panel format. It tends not to be a death by PowerPoint. They tend to have panel discussions that are very interactive. I think there's a lot of value in that.